There is no place like Venice, trust me. Woo! Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Faith Dodger and I'm literally the girl next door. This is my second day touring Venice and today I'm doing a gondola tour. I've heard so much chit chat or chatter about the gondola ride. Most people saying it's not worth the price. I did book it on Get Your Guide, so I didn't pay as much as other people would pay, because some people say you can pay up to 120 euros for it, but I think I paid a little over 50 or nearly 50 euros for this. Most people say it's best to take a Vaporetto because you still get to see the cities and you get a clear view of the canals. But with this tour we're going to have a guide and they're going to hand us audio guides. If you just approach a regular gondolier, they're just going to row you around. They will not explain the history of Venice to you. So I am going to hop on a Vaporetto first, and then I'll film that along as well as my tour, and then you can tell me what's better, a Vaporetto ride or a gondola tour. A Vaporetto is a water taxi. I did use it quite a bit yesterday, and it's a nice ride as well. So if you are interested in making the comparisons, continue watching this video to the end. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching. So I purchased a 48-hour pass, so this affords me access to Vaporettos, buses, trams in Venice. So I'm just going to tap it in. Okay, and this is Ferrovia stop. We are going to the San Marco Piazza. Vaporetto, and it's taking us all the way to San Marco. So you can sit in the front, so you can get, well, this is not the front, this is the back of the Vaporetto, but you get a good view. And that's a gondola. I will film a bit of this, but it's a long way to go.
Rialto. Next stop, Rialto.
Water taxis in Venice are premium 24/7 private transport options providing fast 20 to 30 minute direct and scenic transfers from Marco Polo Airport, the cruise terminal or Santa Lucia station directly to hotel docks. Costs are high, typically ranging from €120 to over €140 for private trips, though they can hold up to 10 people. The Vaporetto is set to stop ahead, but as you can see, there are two Vaporettos that are dropping off passengers. So they are waiting for the stop to clear off, and then we're going to stop. There are two San Marco spots. I've just forgotten what this one is called. The next one is Zachariah, so I'm just deciding whether I should hop off from this one. I think I am going to hop off from this one. And all the gondolas. There's a bit of traffic. I think I have to tap out. I'm just going to get my pass out. Not so sure. No, I don't need to tap out. So this was San Marco Vaporetto. Okay. If you're traveling from Ferrovia or Roma down to St. Mark's Square or San Marco, you can drop off at San Marco Vaporetto or San Marco Zachariah, because San Marco is just in the middle of the two. It's just in between the two stops. As an alternative, to avoid copyright, I had to stop filming. There was music behind me. As an alternative, you can also hop off at Rialto. That's very close to Rialto Bridge, and then you can walk. It'll take about 10 minutes walk to get to San Marco. So that could be a faster option. Because what I've noticed about traveling with the Vaporetto is it's a bit stressful if you're not used to it, because it takes long. I think this ride was like about 40 minutes long. So if you are booked for a tour for a precise time, then allow yourself plenty of time to get to, especially if you're getting to San Marco, because it's far out from everything else in Venice. So if you're using a Vaporetto, it takes a bit of time and it stops. It has so many stops. I don't know, if you use a water taxi it might be faster. I have no idea how much it is. I am going to find out how much it is to hop onto a water taxi. Those look like fun and they are faster. There are no multiple stops, but I'm sure it's a lot more expensive. So I'm just going to go inside the piazza, but this is St. Mark's Square or San Marco, and that is the bell tower. That is where Galileo tested his telescope for the very first time. He was a lecturer at the University of Padova. So the University of Padova was believed to belong to Venice. So that's why I think this place was of importance to test out his new invention. And right in front of me, right there, is the St. Mark's Basilica. I went on a tour yesterday, but unfortunately they do not allow filming in there, but it's quite remarkable. It's beautiful. It's it's really, really nice, worth visiting. And then that is the Dodge.
It demonstrates the opulence of the city of Venice.
You know, to its full extent. It's amazing. It's beyond amazing. They do not allow filming inside as well, unfortunately. So yeah, but it's worth visiting. If you do visit Venice, if you love history, if you love cathedrals and palaces and all that stuff, then you will enjoy it. So yeah, the tour spot is somewhere in the piazza behind a post office deck, so I'll find that out and yeah, I'll try and get ready for my gondola ride. So I made it on time, and you get an audio guide and earphones and a number, because there are going to be a few gondolas that will be attached together. So I'm going on gondola number 3, and yeah, so we're just going to wait for the time. The tour is set to start at 10:10. It's 9:59, but I'm happy I'm here on time.
On this tour, our tour guide taught us why Venice was built and how it was built. Venice was built starting in the 5th century AD, not as a planned city, but as a refuge for people fleeing barbarian invasions on the Italian mainland. Settlers sought safety in the shallow, marshy Venetian lagoon, utilizing the water as a natural barrier. To build on unstable soft mud, workers drove millions of long, pointed wooden piles, mostly oak, large and older, deep into the ground, often reaching a harder layer of clay called caranto. Because the piles are constantly submerged in water with little to no oxygen, they do not rot. Over centuries, these timbers absorbed minerals from the water, turning into a petrified stone-like state that provides immense stability.
Buongiorno. Grazie.
You sit on the back. One moment, sir. You first. Sir.
Okay, so we're about to start our gondola ride. We've just boarded. This is what it
See on the
looks
back.
like
One madam on the back.
in the interior.
Look at the back of the box.
She's got nice comfy seats.
Okay, see on the back. Thank you.
Venice is a collection of 118 islands connected by over 400 bridges. The city also has almost 200 canals and about 125 piazzas. There are alleys that are not on the canals, but they tend to be narrow, In other words, there are no roads, so cars are banned. Visitors have to walk or take some form of water transport, water taxis, Vaporetto, private boat or gondola. Gondole, the plural of gondola, have been a means of transportation in Venice since the 11th century. At one time, about 4,000 gondolas were in operation in ancient Venice, and currently only 400 gondolas are operational in modern-day Venice.
Um dia nós fomos em Veneza e andamos.
Chiaro ti vedi ma io non certo ma manini ne ho dato.
Ma io questo.
Basta ti chiedo magari.
Marco ti dà lui se non so chi non so chi ti sta.
Nossa spazio
The boat makers had to follow strict regulations called mariregole that oversaw all aspects of their lives. The mariregole legislated everything from how much the boat makers paid their apprentices, how much they paid as a dowry for their daughters, and how they buried their dead. Most importantly, it demanded that sons follow in their father's footsteps. At that time, the flat-bottomed boat had 2 rowers and came in a variety of colors. Well-to-do families competed with each other to see who had the fanciest, brightest color or most gold on his gondola. So a Venetian doge ordered all gondole be painted black. Passed in the 17th century, the law has stuck for almost 500 years. Side note, in Venice, black denotes elegance, while red is the color of mourning.
Okay, so it looks like we're approaching the Grand Canal. That's the main canal. I personally think the gondola experience is very different from a Vaporetto, because the Vaporetto sticks to the Grand Canal, but the gondola goes through the canals and you see the restaurants, the little bridges. It's different, and you're traveling or traversing between buildings. That's not something that you can get from a Vaporetto. Personally, I would try both, and I've learned a lesson. I've learned something. I think do not dismiss things because of public belief. Try out everything and see it for yourself. I think this gondola tour was worth it. Grand Canal. So we are in the Grand Canal, and this is the Church of Health. So the tour guide told us that the Church of Health was built upon the request of the Doge after the Black Plague that killed a lot of people. So it's a church of thanksgiving to the Virgin Mary to thank her for sparing the lives of the people who remained in the city of Venice. So this is the most important church in the city. I would have thought St. Mark's Basilica is the most important church in Venice, but no, it is this church, the Church of Health. Most people say a gondola ride is not worth it because it gets crowded, but it does not feel crowded at all. When we passed the canals, there were quite a few other gondolas, but it didn't feel crowded. And just look how spacious it is out in the Grand Canal. It's wide. There are so many water taxis and Vaporettos and gondolas, but still it's spacious enough and there's enough room for everybody. There's even a yacht down there. So I really do not know, or probably I've been lucky the time I visited that it hasn't been so crowded. Even in the streets of Venice, I was expecting it to be crowdy and yeah, but it hasn't been. The tour guide yesterday did say that it is quieter than usual, so I guess I've been lucky. This is truly amazing, I must say, and there is no place like Venice, trust me. Woo! Okay, so we're leaving the Grand Canal and I think we are going back to the gondola station. Actually, yes, we are. So that took about 25 minutes, which is worth it. It was lovely traversing through the Grand Canal. It's really nice.
Io mi sono accluse cose da dietro, sto qua adesso. Come potete migliorare
Okay, grazie, thank you.
Thank you.
You enjoy?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
These are one by one from this book.
Oh, okay.
First.
Gracias.
Thank you. Ciao.
Thank you. Ciao. So we're waiting to go on the virtual tour. We're going to get VR headsets and go back in the past and see how the city of Venice was built. So I'm looking forward to that. I love immersive experiences. It's part of the package. It's optional. If you're not interested, you can opt out. But hey, I mean, it's me. I could never turn down an immersive experience. So I'll let you know what it's like afterwards.
Gondola Gallery Experience. Discover the secrets of a gondola and relive centuries of Grand Canal history with the 3D journey.
So I'm done with the virtual tour and it wasn't disappointing. It felt so surreal going back in time and looking at Venice in ancient times. So I think it was well worth it, and I'm glad that they included it as part of the tour. So this was an enjoyable experience. The gondola tour, like having a guide explaining, the history of Venice, a brief history, walking us to the gondola. On the gondola, there was no talking, but I enjoyed the peace and tranquil. And really, you cannot compare being on a gondola to being on a Vaporetto. They are two different experiences. So I would advise you to do both. With the Vaporetto, you get to see more. With the gondola ride, you get to see travel in between buildings, see waterways and buildings, and it's nice and tranquil. A Vaporetto cannot go through canals, so not one is better than the other. They're just two different experiences. I will put the link in the description for this experience. I would say it's well worth it. Don't just do the gondola ride on its own. It's best to have a guide to take you around and explain to you how things work. And yeah, if you've watched the video to this point, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one. This is one experience to try out, having coffee and confectionery at Cafe Florian in St. Mark's Square while you watch a live orchestra playing. There are mixed reviews about this, but I thought I should try it regardless and just see it for myself. So here it is.
The standard of St. Mark has the Lion of St. Mark, symbolizing Mark the Evangelist, the patron saint of Venice. A distinguishing feature of the flag is its 6 fringes, which were added to represent the original 6 sestiere of Venice. This is the end of my Venice series. Thank you so much for watching.